Okay, so someone asked me a question in regards to my video about the baptism. Could you define the word baptism? Now, that's a great question because that's the first thing you have to do. When you leave truth, when you leave definition, you leave the truth. It's the first thing you got to do. Now, you could spend probably weeks on defining the word and reading everything you can read about that word. But I'm going to give you a resource. Again, I can't do this in 10 minutes. I'm just going to do one little thing, and that's about defining the word, which is where it starts. And I'm going to give you a resource. This is free. So there's this thing called the Strong and McClintock Cyclopedia. These are books, but there's like a 9-volume set. I think they cost like $900, but they're out of print. These are like 200 of the world's best scholars back at the end of the 1800s put this together. McClintock and Strong's. It's the one that does the Strong's, all the Strong stuff. And but if you just go to McClintock and Strong's Biblical Cyclopedia, just search that, and it's free. This whole thing is free online. You're looking at it right here. I've got it pulled up, and you can do this too for yourself. There is enough here to keep you reading for the rest of your life. And here is one thing you do. This is one. So there's also Hastings. There's many other things you can read. This is just one. Okay, and so I'm going to show you how to use that, because it's where you start, is to define the word baptize. So if you go to Strong's and McClintock online free, and you scroll down, you'll see this alphabetical index right here, all these words. So wait. So the A's are like here, the B's, C's, G's. So if you go to the B's and you click here, right, then you get here. So now you have all these words. You have all the B's. It's got every word in the Bible and then some. And so you go down and you look for baptize. Baptize. Lots of words. You could be here forever. And I think I passed it. Okay, so baptism, right here, and you click it. Now, so baptism is rite of purification, initiation. Now, that was the same for the Jews. So the baptizing they were doing, what Jesus did was a Pharisee baptism. I don't think you're going to find that here. You have to read other books. But it was like a purification. They did it to foreigners. They thought Jesus was a foreigner, and it's a proselyte process to be made a citizen, a rite of purification, initiation. That's what that was. That's what the Christians do, kind of, in which water is used. Okay, one of the sacraments of the Christian church. So it's just giving you some facts. The word baptism is simply an anglicized form of the Greek word baptizo, or baptismos. Baptismos. That's baptismos. It's an anglicized, meaning they took the Greek letters and they just made English letters out of it. Baptismos, baptized. A verbal noun from a verbal noun. That's important. That's an infinitive. That has, and you're going to see that in a moment, that has the idea of the fluid or the thing coming upon the source, not the source being dipped. So you see right here, the basic definition we've got is wrong. When you're dipping somebody, that's the opposite. You would have the water moving upon the man if you were baptized properly, according to the definition of the word. A derivative of bapto, the predominant signification of which the latter means to whelm or die, from tingo, not being a verb implying motion. See? not motion that the man goes down into the water. That's not the implication of the word. The implication of the word is to whelm, the thing coming over the source and whelming it, dyeing it, changing it permanently. That's the meaning of the word baptizo in the first century. That's their concept of the word. And then it talks about the prepositions which you're putting in front of it. You can read the whole thing for yourself. But it was a dyer's term in first century, and it was literal or figurative. Like I said, so when Jesus says baptize them in the onoma, in the name, that's a figurative thing, meaning cover them with the gospel, cover them with my commandments, teach them and cover them. It's an infinitive. The thing you're doing is covering them. It's the thing that goes over, the source that goes over the subject, to cover him with it. That's the definition of the word. That is the basic definition of the word. So you're asking me that? That is it. It's an infinitive, to stain or dye. Now, this word bapto, so there's baptizo and bapto. Bapto is used twice in the New Testament. But each time, bapto, it's translated dip. But it's dip the sop. When Jesus was in the upper room, dip the sop, which permanently changes the bread. So it's a whelming, and then dip in the blood of Jesus, which stains it. There's also a whelming. So the whelming is like into the word. So there it is. It's an infinitive, like to dye or stain, figurative or literal. So there's your basic definition of the word. It doesn't mean to dip in water. It does not mean to dip in water. That's a fact. That's not my opinion according to this encyclopedia and just about everyone you'll ever read. I'm just giving you a free source. So that's the definition of the word. The word means to literally or figuratively stain or dye. It's an infinitive. The source moves on to the subject. That's the idea of baptize or baptizo in the first century, in the Bible time.